Just found out that according to completion percentage, this was Russell Wilson's best game, 75% completion, and this was his best passer rating, and he was playing in the snow and all this stuff.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that.
Neither would I, because it seemed like the offense kept on shooting themselves in the foot. Their fourth down conversion's just awful. I think they tried to go for it on fourth down twice in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I'm not.
And they did not get it. One of them was with Justin Fields, and they ended up running with Justin Fields.
Well, our defense was also off slightly. I think on both sides of the ball, I think weather probably changed a little, had a little bit to do with it. But like I always said, we both picked Steelers to win, and I didn't feel one way or the other. But, I just feel that the it's not the momentum as it is pressure.
Yeah.
Cleveland had no pressure on them. But it seems like when the Steelers are in a situation like that, especially in recent years, it's like we can't finish. We have a hard time playing when we need to play well. We seem like we always have a difficult time.
Well, that's just Steelers football.
Yeah.
And like you said, the Steelers, they were 8-2 at the time. Now they're 8-3, so they had all the pressure. They're probably thinking, we got to continue being ahead of the Ravens. Well, how'd that turn out? Now the Ravens, the Ravens are just losing by one loss. But, we'll just have...
Well, they're half a game behind us.
Yeah, they're one behind us.
Mm-hmm.
But the Browns, they were 2-8, so they didn't care whatsoever. Like, there was no pressure on them.
Well, they had no pressure. They were playing at home. All you could hear in the background, and you had said this, is bang, 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 bang.
That's just what they do, just to add to the pressure.
Yeah,
but it is annoying.
Yeah, but defensively, I think that Myles Garrett played incredible game.
Well, I looked into it. He had 3 sacks.
Yeah.
3. That just shows you how bad our offensive line is to a really good defense. Because their defense was pretty good in terms of stopping the run.
Well, there's some very good teams that are playing right now that are actually ahead of us, that are struggling with their offensive line, like the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Okay? So, we just, you just need, why Wilson's a good quarterback, because he can at least release the ball fast enough.
When you look into it, and I was looking at some of the best teams that are in the league right now, like the Lions, like the Eagles, and like the Ravens and stuff, they're all teams that have really good running backs. And it's kind of miraculous that the Steelers are in the position that they are with the running backs that we currently have, because I don't think Najee Harris has been playing like a top 10 running back. He only had 3 games that he had over 100.
We have good running backs, but we don't have great running backs. And, it would be nice to have that one running back.
Saquon Barkley had 255 yards, which is almost unheard of.
Well,
that's ridiculous.
This coming month, December, okay, which tomorrow's December 1st, this is, make it or break it month for us. This is going to show, if we can't pump up the volume and do much better this month on defensively, offense. Now, defensively, we're number 3, so I can't really say too much defensively.
Yeah.
But if we don't pick it up offensively, start scoring more touchdowns than field goals, there's a good chance that we may not even make the playoffs. we could lose.
Yeah,
majority of our games going,
especially the 3 game.
Well, yeah,
It's like a boss rush. Okay, you got three teams, like I think it's the Eagles, then the Ravens, then the Kansas City Chiefs, back to back,
and they're playing all very well right now. So it's like we got an uphill climb to do in battles. So it's like they're playing very well.
I think it's kind of funny because I see a lot of Ravens fans complaining, and because they have the same days that we're playing in that short amount of time. I think it's like 10 or 11 days that we're playing three different teams. And the Ravens fans are upset because they're playing against the Giants, and then they're playing against us, and then the Texans. And I'm like, well, look at the Steelers. Like, the Steelers has like a much worse lineup than you guys for this 10 or 11 day streak.
Yeah. So this Browns game, just to go over it, I mean, it was pretty much clear weather, turned into a snowy blizzard
by the second half.
Yeah.
It was just everywhere.
It looks like we had some really nice things going on in the first, drive. I'm not sure what happened. It seems like as soon as the snow started falling, the first snow drop, it seems like, what the heck's going on?
There was some really bad decision making there. Their first drive, they tried to go for 58 yards with Boswell, and it was flurries. I think that was kind of a dumb decision, in my opinion, because in that kind of weather, I think it's kind of like an this or that sort of, like, you're not guaranteed to make it with 58 yards, and there's currently snow starting to come down. So that was a bad decision. I also thought them putting in Justin Fields when it was like 4th and 3 or 4th and 4, and they put in Justin Fields and they decided to go for a run play.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, for me, I was thinking, why the heck are they putting Justin Fields in there to begin with?
Well,
if there's really no...
And if you're Cleveland's defense and you're seeing he's put in there, your chances are you're sitting there going, it's going to be a run. Why else would you put him in there? So why not throw it? Surprise them.
Yeah.
They think there's not a person out there that wasn't thinking, well, he's going to run the ball.
And then they did it a second time, and they did have him throw, but he threw too far.
Yeah.
And it looked like a pretty open shot. It was 50-50, but Justin Fields just threw too far. Now, there was one instance when they put Justin Fields in, and he ran for like 30 yards.
Yeah.
Now, that's good, but I think some of their decision-making was just really, really bad.
Well, also execution wasn't the greatest. I mean, there's that ball down the center to Kelvin Austin. I mean, he could have had a touchdown if that ball was thrown in stride with him running.
Yeah, he had to slow up a little bit.
Yeah, he slowed up a lot. I mean, that's, that tells you how, you just have to have confidence in your receivers that he can catch that.
Well, Calvin Austin was probably 3 yards ahead of his.
Oh, I know.
His defender.
Oh, he could have easily.
And he still caught it.
He would have never.
He could have ran all the way because he had to slow up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he could have. And the fact is, did we even score in that? Did we even score, or we get a touch or field goal? I can't remember.
I think no, I don't think we did.
Or was that one?
I think it was a field goal.
Okay.
I think the decisions to go on 4th down when they were in the middle of the field, and they did this like early on. I wasn't sure why they decided to do all this stuff. And then the ending, from what I can remember, I think the Browns were on the 1 yard line or something like that, and they didn't call a timeout. The Steelers probably should have called a timeout and just let the Browns score. By the Steelers not calling a timeout, what could have been a minute and 40 so seconds turned into just a minute for whenever the Steelers got the ball back in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
For me, that was just bad clock management. And first of all, they probably should have just let the Browns score when they were going for that last touchdown drive to begin with, because if the Browns got a field goal, they'd still be ahead. So regardless, the Browns would have been ahead either way.
Yeah.
But sometimes the best decision is to just let the opponent score and have confidence in your offense in trying to do that last final touchdown drive that wouldn't get enough time on the clock for the Browns to, counter that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But I just thought some of the clock management and the defense in the Browns' last drive, I thought the Steelers' defense, they had everything going for them. It was 4th and 4. It was converted to a first down. They could have ended it right there, the Steelers. And then the Steelers, with 4 minutes left, caught an interception. Okay, the Steelers had everything going.
Yeah, they just didn't. And sometimes it does come down, and I've seen a couple games this past weekend or throughout the last few days, like the Bears game, where it comes down to coaching sometimes. And if you don't think coaching can lose a game for you,
yes, it definitely can, especially within the last minute or so.
You're silly because, I think coaching kind of lost that game for us as well.
Well, look at the Raiders game. Like, what the heck happens there?
Well, my point is we brought this Arthur Smith in to really add a spark to our offensive plays.
And
was there anything in that game that was like, wow, that's a really good play what you did there? It's like it was just the same old plays.
Like, I think it's average now.
There's nothing special about the plays.
I think Matt Canada was just he was awful.
It seems like Matt Canada handed Arthur Smith the playbook, and that's the playbook Arthur Smith's using. It's like there's nothing like, the heck are you doing? You got 4.5 minutes left. You have the ball. You have the lead.
Well, all they were trying to do was drain the clock down. But the thing is, the Steelers' run game just is not good enough. They couldn't get a first down.
You get 3 first downs with 4 minutes left, okay? Like if you run and then have a pass or run, whatever. You have like 3 first downs with 4 minutes left. That game can pretty much be over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they're so predictable in that last 4 minutes.
Well, that's the thing that I agree with. I think they're too predictable. Mm-hmm. I do think Arthur Smith's better than Matt Canada, but is that really saying much? Because I think Matt Canada's playbook, I'm sorry, going shotgun in 4th and 1, that's pretty bad.
Well, I understand.
All right, but I don't think Arthur Smith is someone that we can look at and say that we can fool an opponent's defense with it.
But that the last play, the Hail Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it wasn't much of a Hail Mary as like midfield or something like that. But that Pickens, I'm sorry, but it looked like he was interfered with. He was held. He was pushed. It's like, how do you not throw a flag on that? I mean,
they let a lot of things slide these days.
On a Hail Mary, they do, because it's like, I don't know. He was pretty much taken out of the play, physically taken out of the play, not allowed to jump for the ball. It's like, I think that should have been called. And that's why he got so angry and they started fighting in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, it's like, that was like kind of like blatantly obvious, even on the play that you see on TV. In the video, if you go to YouTube, you can see that play. You can see how he's interfered with. And it's like, there's no flag for that?
I read that Pickens didn't actually get fined for that either.
Why?
Probably because
it should have
been justified.
It was justified.
That's probably why. I guarantee.
It's like, yeah, you're not going to get fined because it was justified.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
what?
The thing is that, we have going into week 13, I can go over these numbers, in the next one if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
But I just think the Steelers' offense was really shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, they were.
And there's the question is a lot of it weather? Now, I guarantee, both teams are experiencing weather shifts and conditions.
You don't blame it on the weather.
Yeah.
And the Steelers kind of blamed it on the weather. And it's like, I'm sorry, the Steelers of the old would not blame it on the weather. If anything, they rise to the occasion when it's bad weather.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is both teams were experiencing, the weather, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they should have stepped it up, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
They should have looked past the conditions. There's instances when George Pickens should have turned nothing into something and actually catch some of the balls, because he did miss some of the catches.
And snowflakes.
Well, that's what he was. That's what he was blaming it on. And that, a lot of people that aren't fans of the Steelers or whatnot, they're pounding George Pickens for what he's saying about the weather.
Yeah, you can't go there really. I mean, everybody's experiencing the same weather.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
some people might be better in weather conditions than others, but that's when you should start learning to adapt.
Yeah.
There's no excuse about weather. You just got to get better. That's the only answer.
All right.
But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode.
Yeah, we'll see you next week, I guess, when we talk about the Bengals game.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.
Bye.